Welcome to the final reflection for Group 8 Physical Learning for EDAC 635, Spring 2025. Group members and their roles: Eric Weatherly, leader, format paper and post on Canvas. River Boyd, post to Facebook. Tyson Sontag, video reflection, post on class blog. Everyone, implementation of syllabus, evaluations, and comments. So what did we learn? Likes. We liked the readings. They had a lot of good information, a lot of detail about what we were covering in class. Just basically, they made up the class. Myself, I liked the Zoom discussions. They allowed you to learn from others in real time, as you know, and the free flow exchange of ideas, which I learned a lot from my classmates in the Zoom discussions as well. We learned best practices for adult learners. A lot of detail in there from things such as the lighting and the temperature in the room, the quality of the snacks, being able to read the room to see, what's everybody's mood, the role of humor in learning. I didn't realize that humor, played a role in learning and helped people learn better when they were laughing. So I'll employ that going forward. I'll bust out my best dad jokes. We learned about syllabus design. What goes into planning a course? A lot of detail goes into planning a course that I didn't think about, or we didn't think about, things such as location, attendance, classroom rules, grading, all kinds of detail that just, that you didn't think about till you sit down and try to learn to write a syllabus. Dislikes. We all stressed out about the group projects. They add a layer of stress and take up a lot of time that we as adult learners really don't have. Projects involving several different media types. It's hard to be well versed and stake your grade to something you may use once and never use again. And so we would like to see, myself especially, projects involving several different media types eliminated. Having to post the same thing in multiple places. For instance, this assignment has to be posted on Canvas, Facebook, and the class blog. 3 different places for the same thing. It's repetitive and a time suck. How did this project help you understand the theories and get it? How did this project help your understanding of the practical field and theories? Number one, it helped us to learn how to design a training program. What goes into it. How basic you have to start to get all the way to the desired result of reaching your objectives. The role of the brain and its parts play in learning along with the mind. How the brain stores and processes information. The different types of learning cycles, such as Kolb's, Bloom's taxonomy, and how to apply them. Not everything is a one size fits all, and you have to be ready to adjust your teaching and learning to the different learning cycles based on the students that you have. Weekly discussions. We talked about how they broke down topics that we studied into smaller parts. For instance, we would take the readings and then you kind of what's important, what's not, a lot of information in there, but you could look at the questions Dr. Chang posted and see what mattered and kind of articulate what you learned based on the questions she asked. It also allowed you to see how others interpreted the material. You may answer a question one way, go through, read your classmates looking to reply to them, and see that they come up with some totally different interpretation of what you read, not necessarily wrong, but kind of just something you didn't see. They also gave a practical side to the learning, because you could see how deep people from different environments applied the material. The multiple learning materials also give you a chance to find what worked for you. I know Dr. Bo posts a lot of, short videos, clips, slides, that sort of thing, and kind of whatever form of media helps you learn best, she usually had it posted. Suggestion to support learning. Probably this one comes up. This is my 3rd class with Dr. Bo, and it's come up every time in every group I've been in. Less emphasis on group work and the option of writing the final assignment. A lot of us aren't media savvy or multimedia savvy, and it takes a lot of time and adds a layer of complexity to the final assignment that doesn't really, your assignment is based on how you can use media, not necessarily what you learned in the class. Suggestions for future students. Find your textbooks on audio and listen to them if you can. It's a lot easier and less time consuming if you can pop your AirPods or your earbuds in and listen to the weekly readings as you're going through your daily activities, be it a walk, commute, whatever, and kind of double tap, multitask your time. And this is one I threw in. Participate in the weekly Zoom meetings. They take they're at a set time every week. They take about an hour of your time, but it seems like I put, I won't say less effort, but a lot more ease of articulating what I learned, and the learning from my classmates and the exchange of ideas that helps you see things in real time that you might not have saw in the beginning. And lastly, watch the videos that Dr. Bo posts. There's a lot of good information. There are a lot of simplistic explanations that can kind of uncomplicate things, if you will, and help you understand, what she's talking about a lot easier. Thank you from Group 8, Eric Weatherly, River Boyd, and Tyson Sontag.